This is Tori with the Painted Peacock, and we are trying something very different today. I wanted to do more of an impressionist kind of feel. I started by painting my white canvas white. Yes, it also made my head explode a little bit, but I wanted to be able to get this gray, fluffy feeling that I've accomplished by adding the gray on top of the white. It allowed itself to kind of blend out easily. Using a 1-inch flat brush on its edge, I'm able to make these thin little stems. By pushing it to the side, I was able to make some really easy leaves. If you can't tell by now, I'm attempting poppies. When doing flowers, I find it's easiest to do the back petals first, which includes a little darker center, which is why I added black to the bottoms of all these. Once they've dried, I go in and apply the front petals. This was a tricky thing that I've never done before, and it took a lot of reference photos. Trying to look at how to position the paint stroke so it looked like petals going in various directions. I keep flirting with adding darks and adding lights. And while I was painting, I stepped back visually a little bit and noticed I could see the stems through the poppies. That's not the dream. So I've gone back in with a little pink or a little white, and I'm going to go ahead and buff out those areas. As we can see that I'm doing here with this large poppy. I tried to do just a little red over it, but it was not sufficient. So I went in with the pink and the white. I confess that this was a difficult piece for me, and I'm a little concerned about trying to teach it later. But I am not one to shrink away from a challenge, and so here we go. As I'm adding my lights and darks, I keep adjusting the shape of my petals. I want to give the impression that there is some petals in the back and some petals in the front. Another example of just stepping back and looking at it. And just kind of manipulating shapes and using my reference photos. Poppies have a rather textured petal, which upon reflection is probably why they're so difficult for me to recreate. So I ended up using a very thin flat brush and using the thin edge to create kind of that ruffled look. All I could think of was crepe paper when I was trying to do this. It was an interesting emotional roller coaster between, oh, I love it, followed by, oh, this is the worst painting I've ever done in my life. But just because it was different. I often find that when I'm working, I've stared at an image too long and I have a hard time enjoying it. And the struggle was kind of real. But I also find that after I've worked on something and I put it away for a while, I quite like the finished product, which is what I have here. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a lovely day.